Season 6. What a season. Anyway, what a season to be alive. But like, not in the 1920s kind of way, in more like a Great Depression kind of way. The season was going really strong, and then the metas for this season were set in stone. There were problems. Like, a lot of problems. From Deadpool and his "You're about to find out" to the yellow-teethed Brit who eats beans on toast or whatever. I'll be diving into heroes, maps, and casual and competitive play, and overall, my thoughts on Season 6.
When you two dated!
In Season 6.0, this season started off really strong with Deadpool being released after being revealed at the Game Awards in December. This is arguably one of the strongest releases of Marvel Rivals history to date, since Deadpool was able to have all 3 roles, and each role type played extremely different from each other. Tankpool being able to be the only hit-scan tank with excellent mobility and survival tools due to the healing factor, busting down shields, if you can aim, and a double jump with a pretty decent cooldown. DPS Pool, he sucks, but hey, infinite dashes. And Heal Pool being a tactical healer of sorts, allowing tanks to make space easily and often. Although, when he first launched, people quickly got mad at,
"Do you happen to have a map? I'm directionally challenged."
Just stick with your team and you'll be fine. Probably.
I'd rather it be a toggle than a universal change, since I'm sure there are people that love the interactions.
Sure you do.
Oh my god, Galacta, shut the fuck up, okay? Aside from that, Deadpool was mostly a perfect release, and I don't think he should get any stronger or weaker in any aspect for a while, until some hero power creeps him 2 seasons later. Balance changes this season were a step in the right direction. Whether you like them or not, you still have to agree that the balance changes across this season were very needed, even if some weren't necessarily good enough. In Season 6.5, Zhi Yang finally blessed us and gave us the nerfs to Hawkeye, Hela, Elsa Bloodstone, and Gambit. I'm not going to go through all of them one by one, but the point is that the devs are listening. It's a step in the right direction, although the devs do need to keep doing this kind of thing to keep players' hopes up. Maybe the devs could use hotfixes up to 2 times per season, maybe even 3. That means if a season is roughly 8 weeks, that's approximately 1 quick fix per half season, which can address the issues of that month for better or for worse. Either way, doing something is much better than doing nothing, and hoping and praying that your dev visions won't be shot down because they don't address a specific issue. Still though, this is a nice change of pace, and I really hope Season 7 and beyond have an upward trend with intermittent changes to balance, because people are getting extremely sick and tired of having to wait out a whole month for one hero to get a fix, if they even do. Cosmetics in Marvel Rivals were actually a W this season. This isn't something that many people account for with videos like this, but the cosmetics were actually a really nice theme. Disco was a really cool theme overall, although can we not give Invis or Psylocke or Luna another skin? Gong Gong, do it again, I swear to God! Season identity was easily definable. Even though the meta was poke, at least the meta was consistent this season, and the gameplay became very defined. Was this meta shitty? Sure, but I'll speak on that in a second. But at least it was consistent. The fact that it was poke let me play Strange a lot, and while I would prefer Penny, at least the Eye of Agamotto is a much more satisfying ult to hit anyway. In a competitive context, this consistency made the game feel very dependent on the main tanks being able to rock positions in a way that would benefit their team, but heavily punished overextended players, due to poke being naturally farther ranged and can cause damage to overextended tanks faster with less risk. It felt like Overwatch, but kind of blitzy because, well, it's Marvel Rivals. It's basically what this game is reduced to anyway. Unfortunately, that's where the pros end, and after Deadpool's shiny new hero badge got torn off, this season got problematic fast. Okay, damn bro, I'll address you, chill. Yeah, no, I hated this British ass. I never got the broken hitbox part, given that lots of Elsa Bloodstone mains would just hit me at point blank range, and I wasn't really able to dodge it unless she hit it from a certain distance away. But disregarding the ult, why does a poke character have more mobility than Dive? Dive. You know, the heroes that are supposed to have more mobility than most because it allows them to get in and out of engagements fast and do high burst? A lack of mobility is why dive counters poke. You can't just say, screw counters, and then make up this British abomination. I can understand the instinct meter, that's cool and unique, but why does it barely punish Elsa players for dying? 1 bar? Dog! Fuck you mean? And she gets an AoE bullet that slows you, a dash that can CC you upward and give her a get out of jail free card, and an invincible trap? Zhuyong, did we not learn from Gambit? This is way too much uniqueness. This creates little to no counters that can be baked into her. Dive is supposed to be the baked in counter when you add a poke character. The only counter that she has is shield tanks, but when her elephant gun can pierce enemies, that concept becomes null and void. And speaking of tanks, poke in CC overload can go suck my nuts. Poke in CC overload is arguably one of the worst things Mall of Rivals has done so far. This season was probably the worst season that had issues with CC. I think the only reason I got Champion Strange this season was because I was forced to solo tank Strange so many times that I just got the status by default. And even then, main tanks got screwed over with this season too. Gru can't even sustain enough walls to protect his team with long-range burst damage, Strange and his shield can only do so much, and max shield items are on a longer cooldown and have overall less area to cover. Off-tank players such as Hulk, Thing, Angela, Rogue suffered hardcore, and it was very rare that these heroes worked in high-level elo. This got extremely exhausting for tank mains extremely fast. It's crazy that in a game where everybody on this roster are superheroes, it feels like half of them get soloed by the same few people. And then speaking of tank exhaustion, the tank epidemic. It's more obvious than ever that there is an extreme lack of tank players willing to go on the front line and play tank. And while the reason for each tank main is different, the fact of the matter is that this imbalance in player role distribution makes the player experience for everybody much worse. No tank players means the game gets thrown off its equilibrium, and no tank players means that DPS mains or healer mains have to fill in the roles that tank mains normally would, and then these teams don't get to win games because they're not playing a role that they typically play, and because they're losing, they're not going to want to play the game anymore. Having a lack of players in this specific way can spell an ever-declining player base, and then the game dies. Now, am I saying the game is dying? No. I'm saying that if this issue isn't fixed, then the lifespan of this game will be cut short, hard. But, as of now, even I am getting burnt out playing this game, but I don't want to move to a different game like Overwatch. Not because I hate that game, but that would mean I'd have to relearn skills that have taken me so much time to master, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'd rather have this game live as long as possible because I still love this game. But if I'm burnt out, then I'm burnt out. Simple as that. Ranked repetition in Marvel Rivals. Ranked this season felt worse than it has in Marvel Rivals history. And I would know because I just hit Eternity and I'm actually able to hang with this rank pretty consistently. The same few people keep getting banned, that being Moon Knight, Gambit, Elsa, Hela, and Daredevil. And even then, double bans exist, so then that means less heroes overall get banned. And even if not, 4 total bans aren't enough to make a game not annoying. Triple support can still make games annoying, solo tanking can be annoying, and whoever isn't banned is gonna be annoying. This season felt like playing the same match over and over and over, except the person talking shit was always different. And like, what sucks is that even with the meta in place, if everybody agrees to unite and go against the meta, when someone is losing, they're just gonna go back to the meta. Like, why would anyone playing ranked want to willingly play a hero where you would be at a disadvantage? Why play the perfect human when I can be a server admin? There's just no reason to. How do we fix the issues going into Season 7? Literally half of the problems Marvel Rivals has right now can be solved by toning down the extremes of the power scale. Make CC layering less oppressive so tanks can live, stop adding heroes that can do shit like that, and make poke counterable. Counterable. I do not mean nerf them to the ground, I mean make it so that their counters can actually do their job, which forces Poke to play better or switch. Then after that, don't remove CC, but then make it so that not every hero has a slow and burst damage and displacement. They can have one, maybe two, but not all three. Third, make tanks, but not the shields. Not the shields, I mean the off tanks. Okay, the off tanks. For the people in the back, the off tanks have more defined strengths or make them stronger against their counters. If you make them more viable in their respective niche, then it would make it so that they're able to counter what they're supposed to counter better. If you make them stronger against their own counters, it allows for a slightly more even match against the two, making the matchup feel less like an instant win and more like having a type advantage in Pokemon. You can still win, even when you're at a type disadvantage in that game, and this game, I feel like, should mock that same way of balancing, making more people come back to tank and the game get its equilibrium back. I know this is a lot easier said than done, and Zhiyong is borderline getting whipped over there like me asking ChatGPT to make my essay sound more human, but that's a NetEase problem that they put on themselves. Like, y'all can hire more employees if it's that bad, you know? What are my hopes for Season 7? If Marvel Rivals doesn't want to get their player base to bring out the pitchforks and torches, they're likely going to have to do a few things going forward. Healthy, balanced launches like Deadpool, which means better testing of your heroes before they release. If whatever comes in Season 7 and 7.5 are as broken as Elsa or Gambit on release, I'm going to pack up my bags and I'm going to go back to Rogue Company. Does anyone even remember that game? For ranked play, make a meta where we don't have to ban someone to make the meta feel playable. A good meta should be a general trend that defines a phase of a game's lifespan, that also doesn't feel like straight monkey poo to play in. If you gotta ban the meta heroes, that's not healthy. Finally, incentivize people to play the tank role. I don't need them to be broken, I just need them to be fun again. Now, those are my thoughts on Season 6 and overall. If you want to make this a tier list, I would say Season 6 and 6.5 was a B-. But how bad was Season 6 for you? Did you actually like Deadpool's voice lines? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. Please like, sub, comment, share with your friends, and I love you all. Goodbye, everyone.